Hi, I'm Karen Dell from Department of Energy and Climate Change. I'm really just here to give a bit of a personal perspective and perhaps just talk to you a little bit about some of the advantages and disadvantages of being me, or perhaps more specifically the advantages and disadvantages of being the head of a Department of Head of Sustainability at the Department of Energy and Climate Change. And I'm going to kick off on a sort of positive note, saying what's good about my job. And I think that some of you will perhaps end up feeling a little bit envious when I've gone through this. For example, we have a very small, simple estate at DECC. We only have 2 office buildings in London, and then we've got a little bit of space in another building in London and in Aberdeen. I'm very fortunate, I think, to have quite a supportive senior management who obviously understand the importance of reducing energy and emissions. And I've also got a comparatively well-educated workforce. I mean, probably also in the general sense, but perhaps specifically in the sense of understanding the importance of sort of emissions and climate change and that sort of thing. So to some extent, I think you could say I'm sort of pushing at an open door, really, when it comes to energy saving at DECC, and the sky's the limit. And I think that's sort of reflected in our results to date. For example, we've cut energy use by 50%, we've cut our emissions by 40%, and we've improved the DECC rating of our headquarters building in London from a really lowly and rather embarrassing G rating to quite a respectable C rating at the moment. And that's all happened over roughly a 3-year period. So that's the positive side, but you're probably wondering in that case, you know, why am I so grey-haired and why am I so haggard, you know? And of course, obviously, it's not all rosy. And I'm going to move on to some slides, which I think will perhaps give you a little bit of a flavour of the sort of pressures I face in my particular job. And basically, DECC's mission of of powering the country and protecting the planet can be a bit of a double-edged sword. On the plus side, obviously, it does tend to get me a certain amount of senior management support and buy-in that I think other people perhaps struggle to get. But on the minus side, it does tend to bring me and my team under fairly immense media scrutiny. And I think you can just sort of see from some of those slides some of the sort of more negative headings that we've got. And I think this one here, the Sun one from February of this year, February of last year, it's quite a recent one. It's a very embarrassing one. But I mean, again, where else perhaps would you get pilloried for leaving a light on, you know, other than the Department of Energy and Climate Change? But I mean, it's a fair point, isn't it, really? I mean, at DECC, we've got to be seen to be practicing what we preach. And therefore, I've got no excuses, really, on that one. Moving on, again, this is not so much about negative headlines about our buildings, but again, sort of picking up on some of the emissions from our travel, which is obviously a very essential part of the work that DECC does, involved in international negotiations on climate change. But nonetheless, it kind of makes for a bad heading. On the plus side, though, if we get it right, that we do get sort of we get some good press, and that good press in its turn can actually help my kind of policy colleagues, because it helps us sell our policies that little bit better, like this rather positive article there about the Green Deal. Really, that's obviously one of my problems, but there is also another huge problem that I face, and that is the sort of challenge for today, and that is that DECC's already done so much to reduce its energy use and its carbon emissions that we have exhausted all the sort of quick and the sort of cheap wins. And I think more worryingly, I think we're actually reaching that kind of stage where we're reaching the limit of what's technically feasible when it comes to retrofitting our buildings. So far, we have done quite a lot. We have done quite a lot with our building management system controls. We've done quite a lot with our lighting controls as well, installing PIRs, timings, and in fact, I've even got a timer on that dreadful light over our front porch there. We've also, on the lighting front, we've also installed quite a lot of LED lighting in all the sort of communal parts of our buildings, sort of corridors, toilets, etc. We've made use of variable speed drives. We've installed a dedicated chiller for our server room, and we're in the process of installing solar film throughout our building. So I could go on and on with things that we have done, but that's not really why I'm here today. I mean, if you are interested, I suggest you take a look at the Making DECC Sustainable page of the government website, which has got a bit more information, or just catch up with me at some point today. I'm always happy to talk about that. But I have sort of further pressure, which comes from our own statistics. Unfortunately, DECC's emissions from our actual offices has been increasing over recent months compared to the sort of same period the previous year. And this is for a number of reasons, I believe, and some of which are beyond my control, like increasing staff numbers, the fact that we have in fact had a very cold sort of autumn and winter this year. But we have also identified some fault with our plant as well that's contributed to that. But as you can imagine, it's a trend that I'm very keen to reverse. But how do we do that? Well, I believe that sort of sharing ideas and learning from each other is very important, which is obviously why I'm here today. And that's also why I've been chairing a cross-government practitioner forum, where sort of sustainability staff from different government departments and bodies get together every few months. We talk through some case studies, talk through other sort of common problems, and generally, in short, I think we sort of try to help each other out. But my focus at DECC at the moment is very much trying to embed our existing savings and kind of hanging on to those if I can. And we're looking to do this through further automation of our building management system controls, by trying to sort of educate and train our FM provider, and also by trying to develop a sort of more formal energy management system. And in fact, DECC is looking to get certification to ISO 50001 at the moment. So I think really in summary, it's lovely to talk about our successes and it's great to share our experience. But the flip side of that, as you can see, is that I'm kind of running out of ideas. I'm getting really desperate for new ideas on what we can do next. So I think my request is please help. Thank you.